Check, check. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Sorry about that. Either Discord didn't update or I did something. I was having trouble finding all my hidden channels to post to the free members. Apologies. All right, what do we got in the chat? AMD, J&J. Yeah, freaking gap down right now as of now. We'll see if that holds or not. Had a nice strong close, but like we always say, nothing matters until the open. No sense in cheering over the weekend because it literally does not matter. Get these jotted down. AMD for Bill. J&J, Avenger. 10 people. Let's see who else rolls in. But I do want to get started on time because, like I kind of hinted at, guys, I want to kind of do a little more of a deep dive on SPY, kind of show you guys where we're at, what to be looking for, because I kind of gloss over it quickly usually on these Sunday classes just because I want to get to all your requests. So I do want to go over some stuff. So Give it 1 or 2 more minutes. We'll see who rolls in. If not, they're late. You guys are on time. We're just going to get going. Just peek at the 4-hour chart here. Just really hoping to reclaim at least the bottom of that green zone there, bottom side of those wicks, but we shall see. So far we got, let's see, is Norvin in here? Norvin's not in here. So 2 requests only, guys. If you're in it, say, hey, I'm in something. It expires this day. I'm down. What do you think I should do? Or if you want to look at something, say, I'm not in yet. Just say, hey, looking for entry, put it in the Zoom chat. And we'll get going here in a second. All right, y'all. It's 2 minutes after. We're going to dive in here. Anybody new from the sale? Anybody here from free chat? Let me know in the Zoom chat. I'm just kind of curious if we're getting some new people in here putting the work already. BA, yeah, we'll take a look at BA for sure. One new member. Nice. Welcome in. Hopefully it's the first and only server you join, but if not, hopefully we can make you proud. All right, guys, 4-hour chart here. Just a quick look just to see where we're at here. We're under the 647 12 zone. So as I go the daily here, just to show again the big picture, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of consolidation in this zone here, and you can see when that 650.76 gave way on Friday. You see, or if we go intraday chart, once this little spot gave way, that triggered a hard sell, and buyers really never looked back. Obviously, they pumped it after hours, but that, as of now, that move is fully given the whole thing back. But my point is, this was the last chance support. We see a little bit of a few consolidation days, and I'll go back to the daily chart here, guys. But we see those consolidation days, and when that doesn't hold, we see that very, very fast move underneath it to the sell. And so that's kind of what I was looking at, that 650.76, because we've seen the bounce zone there. We see that breakout retest right there. And then when that failed, we've seen how bad, at least for the bulls, if you're in puts, you got paid very, very nice. We've seen how fast that failed. And so, like I said, as of now, in this overnight session, we're under the 647.12. So as we zoom over here, we don't have a lot to work with. We're coming back to our August of last year levels here. And again, on the daily chart here, under this 647.12, again, those wicks right there is what I was watching for, to see if we don't reclaim that, how quick we can possibly sell. Because, there's a little consolidation here from August 13th, dip down, retest, 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 ultimately broke out at the beginning of September and a nice push up. And so, again, that's kind of that zone here I'm watching. Again, from a bullish standpoint, I do not like that 650.76 has been not reclaimed yet. But again, 647.12 is the next biggest thing I have. And then that big pivot on the bottom of these wicks here, 643.28. And as a lot of us mentioned earlier in this week, last week, we broke the daily 200. We are now 2 days, going to be the third day, closing under that. So investors, big monies, algos, whatever you want to call it, all the above, that is a very bearish signal when we cross under the daily 200 moving average. So obviously lots of headlines, you guys, every single day, every single hour. It seems like it's hard to keep track of everything. We can very well sell lower, as we've seen we're already doing right now in this after hour session. Just be mindful of the levels we're coming up to, any trend lines we're coming up to. And then last but not least, when we push up, this purple line up here, guys, when we push up, we get a little bit extended. We tend to come back to it, a little overextension, so to speak. We come back and test to that. We get down, here's a daily 9 right here. We get down here, we get a little far from it, we retrace back to it. looking over present day now, our daily 9 moving average is way up here, stop way up here based on the close of the candles. And right now we're trading way down here. So be very mindful if and when that snapback, relief rally, dead cat bounce, whatever you want to call it, whenever that comes, it's probably going to be a fast move. I don't know if it's going to last an hour or 2 days or a week. No one really knows. But if and when that comes, probably sooner than later, there is a relief bounce coming. Don't be that person trying to short every single bounce, every single push, because there's going to be a day where, like I tell people on Friday, let the sellers take their turn, let the bears have their turn. And that's all it was on Friday. You could have caught a few bounces Friday, but ultimately, if you just shorted every bounce and rode it into the next new low, you got paid more. And so that Friday was a day of let the sellers take their turn. So again, if and when that bounce comes, you guys don't step in front of that freight train trying to short it, and you take another short and another short and another short, when the whole time you could have been riding the calls all the way up making money with most of us. And so just be wary of that, because like I said, as of now, so we were trading at like 646.5. We're 3% off that close of that moving average. Can we go more? Absolutely, but just be mindful of that. I'm always very, very cautious. We get pretty far extended from that. And again, this is just piggybacking off of Bollinger Bands. Mine are set at the 2.5. So you can see we're getting closes under that. Doesn't happen too often. Do we close over that? It happens, but we retrace back. We come back to it. Do we close under that? It happens. We retrace, move back to it. What happens when we close under? We push back. We push back. We fully engulfed it there. And so now we're having back-to-back days potentially closing under. So again, be on alert for that snapback. I'm not saying just dive into calls at the open tomorrow. Just be aware of that. You guys do have the ability to unmute your mic. Keep it related just for now to SPY. Any questions on the S&P 500? SPY. Unmute your mic if you have a question. If not, I'll go on to your guys' watch list. I don't see anything in the chat. Making sure. Let's see. Oh, got to get Disney for Hector. I think you're number 4 in line, Hector. So get to you as quick as we can. Crash, yep, don't want to get fined. Glad you're here, brother. Norvin, are you in here? He's not. He sends me requests and then doesn't join. AMD is first. That was for Bill. At any point, Bill, feel free to unmute your mic and talk through it, or just cut me off if I'm yapping too much. Bill, are you a day trader or swing trader, Bill? Put in the chat or unmute your mic. That would kind of help you look for different targets on what I'd be doing here. We're trading at 199.3. Don't see anything in the chat. All right. So, AMD, interesting here. Let me zoom out to that 4 hour. So let's focus on this big thick line here, guys, in the middle of the chart, basically 199.2. You see a couple new traders in here are new to this Discord, kind of how I like to do things. When I'm on a smaller chart, guys, this is my day trade chart setup. And so sometimes I'm looking at the SPY chart like this, and it's very, very small, and I don't have a zoomed out look. I mean, I obviously can go to a full screen look, but basically what I do when I draw a thick line, the reason I do it is because we come into that something like here, and my chart is totally scrunched up and compressed like that. I want to know, hey, this was an old all-time high zone. I should probably pay attention to that, be aware of that. And so that's kind of my reasoning why I draw thicker lines the way I do it. And so this AMD here is a very, very important level here, 199.2. We're gapping down from that after hours push on Friday, but lo and behold, look right where we're at. And I actually like this setup a lot, Bill, and everybody else looking at this. So this 199.2, we're getting pokes under, but every time we poke it under and they fail to continue, we get the strong buyback. When they break over here, what do? This candle here, they retest it and they go. Break over, retest it, and they go. Fail to break over, we go lower. Fail to break over, we go lower. And so that's kind of a very, very nice entry spot here, Bill. This 199 to 199.2. basically how I'd play it. We're over it, so I would lean bullish first and foremost. But again, if we're in a very bearish day and we break this, don't fight at holding calls. Just do not keep endlessly averaging down. If we do break this level, we need to clear a couple things first to the bearish side, and I'll go to the bullish side after that. But on the downside, that Friday close, or that Friday end of day bounce zone, not close, the bounce zone. So very, very big reaction down there as we near that 198. So if we crack 199, yes, you can get in your puts, but just be cautious of that Friday low zone. You always want to know where is the previous day high and low, where is the previous day bounce zone. You always got to watch that zone there. So if we do hold that zone, not saying we're going to get there in a single day, but I look at something like this, and this is my total reward zone potential. And then something like this is what I'm risking down here, depending on how much time you have. And so I say reward potential, because what we haven't talked about or talked about briefly on SPY is if we do bounce this here, I'm on the 1 hour chart here, guys. If we do bounce this, look at these two moving averages, they're stacked right here. The purple is the 9, the green is the 20-day moving average, stacked right there. So if we do bounce this and we start failing right here, which is also the bottom side of this wick that they're bouncing the moving averages. They bounce the moving averages. We can see that, the battle here. If we do push up, be mindful, because what do we have here? I'm going to go to a smaller time frame here for you guys. 1 second, 15-minute chart coming. So they do bounce this 29.2. What do we know? Round psychological numbers, pretty big deal. 201 is important. What's more important than 200? Or excuse me, 201, 200. Nice rounded number, 100, 250, stuff like that. So if they push in this 200 tomorrow, guys, and they start kind of failing right here to break higher, we probably have two moving averages right there stacked against us and a psych level of 200 that's not breaking over. So just be mindful of that. But we clear that, and what do? We look left, and we start finding Friday's close. That's probably the highest volume next target. And we just push into this zone potential up here for a target 2, or excuse me, this would be target 1. Target 2 is Friday's close, target 3 up here, and then target 4 on that range that I had drawn earlier. So very, very nice spot. It's not the best to play in these ranges because fake outs could stop you out either way. But when I see a big, big bounce zone there on multiple time frame levels, give me confidence to first and foremost look for that bounce. But again, if we sell under that, we see what happens. Nice day for put holders for sure. So DMs are always open if you need more help on this one. Right, got that one down. Johnson & Johnson. I see a couple more things rolling in here, guys. Yep, I see Apple. I see OSCR. I don't know if that's Oscar. That's just what I call it in my head. I will get to those in a second, guys. And then let's see. BE as well. I think that's energy sector, but J&J for Avenger. Yep. Healthcare sector, guys, if you don't know, check our daily. Oh, no requests since I've been doing Sunday scans on J&J. This will be fun. All right. Avenger, you're probably looking for swings, I assume. Definitely like this spot. We'll retrain that to 34. If we can get back over that. Just looking at some things here on the daily. Probably got a nice trend line. Yep, 4 touches. That's good enough for me. More than good enough. Bottom side trend line. This one's probably broken. Ooh, maybe not. I stand corrected. I like this so far, buddy. I like this. I like this. Top side. What's going to give us trouble if we break over here? We'll start that. Let's see what it looks like intraday. We'll grab this bottom wick from Friday. Something on the weekly. Oh, is this coming back to a weekly level here? Let me see. Don't be shy, man. You can unmute if you want. Unless you're at a bar boozing, trying to hide it from us. Nothing's this all-time high, I think. All right, cool. Intraday here, brother. Swings, but yes, intraday here. So 4 hour. Let's kind of see what we got cooking here. See if we got divergence. A little bit. Not super convincing. All right, hide that for now. So we got more charting real estate. 4 hour chart here, man, for sure. Two options here, but I like both. This is definitely a buy zone into here. It's only, well, I'm not going to say only, but you're basically risking $2 against you. Come on, there we go. So I like this zone into here. We didn't get that, or you didn't get in on Friday. So if this move holds into tomorrow, 30-minute chart here, brother. Definitely that 235.3. I like that low zone. If you can bottom tick that, we'll see. We don't get too cocky on this candle here. Anything can happen. But if they trickle back down into here, this is a definite buy. Held once, 2 times, 3, 4, 5 candles, 30-minute candle attempts on a sell down. Any ticks or any touches back down into there, for sure. Treat that as either on the daily 1, 2, 3 triple bottom, or just double bottom from the previous day, whatever you want to call it. I really like this. But again, if we don't miss, or we don't get this move here, they push up. Any push pre-market or any push earlier in the day, breakout retest of that. What are we doing here? We're basically just looking for price action like this and like this. So, okay, we push up here and boom, they bounce it and they test it again. This is confirmation this level has flipped back to support. And if we see that again here tomorrow, that's a green light for me to buy the dip on some calls. I don't know how much time you want to buy on this. Options liquidity, 238 to 240 call is probably going to be pretty decent. If your swings, we'll just assume we're going to get next week contracts. It's basically anything up to that 242.5. Anything over that, we're kind of pushing that delta a little bit, but 242.5, again, options volume is going to make or break this setup. April 17th, obviously the third week of the month, is going to have the most volume. Next week expiration is pretty light. You could swing a risky or just put some money down. If you got the bankroll for it, probably $300 to $500 on those April contracts. But that's the safe bet, especially in this market. But yeah, man, pretty clear as day to me. This is a nice stair step down into support. And so you know how my charting goes. We reclaim a previous support. We're just looking left on where do we sell. We can go to a 5-minute time frame and go, okay, there's a target there. But when I'm in swing trades, I try and teach 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour targets. And so I'm looking on these big candle bodies where they're stopping, where they're starting. This one is Friday's open, and lo and behold, it's Friday's or Thursday's close. You think that one matters? Absolutely. Big target there. Top side of this wick rejected. Let's look left. Where it reject right in this zone here. You think that level matters? Absolutely. Lines up almost with that close there. So we know where the highest volume of the day is, the open and the close, other than the news. And so very, very important levels up to that 238. But that's basically an 80-cent move for you in your favor if you catch the bounce on that, man. But let's talk more DMs if you get in that one. But decent setup here. I think if you want to go long on this name, two options for sure. I'm not bearish here because of this junk that could fake you out. I'm bearish on a break underneath that. So nice request though. BA, who had bowling? What was that? Wait, did I go in order? Johnson. Oh yeah, Kevin, right? Yep. Cool. And you're still in here. Awesome. Oh, these damn wicks. Well, we gotta correct this one. If I gotta do it every 30 minutes, I'm not gonna do that. 195.2, where are we stopping? Let's go with daily. Oh yeah, interesting. Look at this. Big old thick line here, guys. Oh yeah. 195.2, brother. I like this setup a lot. Trouble there. They don't break under. Big retracement down. Close at it, break over, retest it. It's on. Upside. Come back to it. It's no accident. Look at this consolidation there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days before the 8th day they kill it down. Back up, retest on that wick, and look where they close out on Friday. Never delete your lines on the chart, guys. They always come back. Not always, not every line. Not say SPY is going to come back to 100. I hope not. We'll be in trouble. Something's going off if that happens, but you get the point. Let's go to 30 minutes. Not to keep correcting those candles there, but very, very easy setup for me, Kevin, or at least how I trade. Let's see, day trade, swing trade, did you say?
Yeah, I think the last time I bought it, it was when it pushed down to that 180 zone.
Nice.
I bought shares and closed them around 210 and then some around 220.
Nice. Are you looking for a share flip on this too, or what you looking
at? Yeah, that one I usually end up just buying shares, but options probably would have paid me more.
Yeah, I mean it's always a hindsight thing. You know, shares you don't really have an expiration, obviously, unless the company goes under. This company is not really going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, this is a simple setup for me. It'll be kind of the same thesis for buying the dip on shares or options, but we have basically we're pushing up into resistance, failed. We come back down. We're just making this nice controlled where they're rejecting the previous low, nice controlled sell downs, they're rejecting the close, whatever it is. Very, very nice controlled sell down. And so this is what I kind of say all of the question mark here. So what do? Are we coming to leg down here? And if so, obviously this 195, that's a big, big support breakdown. We go back to the daily again and check that. But for me, anything bullish on this name, basically, worst case scenario, you want to see consolidation here. And again, I sent a couple members some reading. Is Pareto and here's not in here.
Something like this where it's just been kind of selling down like that. Would you want to wait till it maybe breaks back above like 200 level before you got bullish on it, or
good question?
Do you like the idea of buying it in that 195 range?
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, and I think River or Shark or Hernando or someone could tell you differently as well. But for me, if I miss this and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set alerts here for 195.2. We come back and like they bottom tick down the wicks there. You're like, sweet, I bought shares. And then this time you scale in and they sell it down. You're like, well, damn, it didn't work. And so to me, it may not be the answer you want to hear, but it's always going to be a hindsight thing. It's going to be, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So you see this support touch here and you dive in tomorrow and we bounce, you get, 10, 15, 20% of your shares, over time, you're like, man, I'm glad I bought that. But then if we sell down here, like, well, wait a minute, we've been pretty bearish, with the war news and stuff like that. Maybe I shouldn't have scaled in here. And so it's tough, man. I mean, to me, my mindset is, especially if I'm playing shares, if I see a level, I'm going to nibble because I don't have an expiration on those. If we just get, the war, God forbid, gets even worse than it is, or something happens, you can cut those with very minimal loss to the next, to the downside. But for me, when I see support touch and I have a plan, it's just not like, hey, all-time highs, we're coming back to like a little small level. Like this is a proven level through here on daily, weekly, 4-hour, every time frame. And so to me, it's a buy. If we get super bearish tomorrow, I mean, we cut below Friday's low. I mean, you're risking percent and a half on shares, you can very easily just stop out. You can stop out the same day on shares and just go, you know what? That was a big support level that probably should have held. It's just not the right time. And that's fine. I tell people that DMs all the time. I go, you know what? You bought where you're supposed to, and it wasn't the right time. You did nothing wrong. But I would tell people, hey, 10 times out of 10, I would have bought there, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's why I like the idea of buying there. That's kind of in the past it's always held there, but just over the
mhm.
last 30, 45 days, we've been so bearish,
Yep.
I,
Another
you
thing you
know.
can do, brother, you kind of hinted on is you can wait for that low confirmation. Get a $5 move up and get your entry here at 200. It's at 200 cycle level, and then use this as your stop. This little stop zone down here. You might get some pokes down, and they buy it back up, or they come down into here and they buy it back up, and just use that as your stop or mental stop, whatever you do, and be like, okay, I got a $5 buffer on these shares. I know this is a big buyback zone. If they buy this, I'm golden. If we get any sort of relief bounce, you're probably golden. If we stay bearish, you're like, you know what? They broke this. They broke this. They just broke the three most recent support levels, and the biggest. It's just not. It's just not time. And that can very well be the case. But I don't want to tell you to wait and we just launch off this. But I just say, short answer, stick to your gut. But whenever I see a level, I take my shot. Um, I will add with everything that's going on, I definitely scale in lighter, even shares. So normally, if I were to start like a half position size, I might do like a third or 25% and just nibble down into here. And you buy some shares here. We pop over 200. SPY and QQQs kind of base, building a base, and maybe let's just say the war's dying down. Ceasefire, whatever it is. Okay, we start ticking up, scaling your full position here, and now your bottom, your cut zone there on those shares. So,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing is kind of scaling in at 195 and 190
yep.
for
And
like
the
a
most
third and
important
a
thing,
third.
yep, the most important thing we've talked a little bit in Zoom and just other people listening. Always scale in, and so if you and others maybe have just a shares portfolio, maybe have a Roth IRA, maybe have a portfolio for options trading, you got to go into this in every single trade, whether it's Rivian, Tesla, Boeing, whatever it is, and say, hey, I'm going to buy $5,000 worth of shares in this. I'm going to scale in. You have to stick to that. You can't go a half, 2,500, then it cuts. You're like, okay, let me add another 2,000, another 500, because it keeps selling, 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 and sure as before you know it, you're in way too heavy in your portfolio and you have no money to buy anything else that looks good and is moving in your favor. So keep that dollar amount, whatever it is, that's, keep that private, that's up to you. But just know that and just have a plan of, hey, I'm going to scan a little bit here, maybe a little bit here. If it doesn't work, my loss is minimal, like less than 5%. You know what I mean? We come back down into here, even down here on this big bounce zone, like that's only another 4% down. So decent
Yeah.
setup here, brother. You have options on this for sure, man.
Yeah, last time I bought it, like I said, in that 192 range and it broke under 190 and I stopped out, and then it got all the way down that 180 range. I was like, man, I just got to take it. I just got to take a position there. And
Yep.
it played out and worked.
Nice, nice. Yeah, man, just scale in. Let's follow up maybe next week or a week or two and kind of see how this one plays out. I like these Sunday scans because I can look back at what we talked about the week before and see where the heck we're at, man. So, but yeah, hopefully it works out for you, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's
Yep.
usually one that moves slower.
Yep. Hector Disney. What do we got here? Watch for a possible rebound. You know what? I think this is consolidating. I was looking at this morning. Let me see here. Yeah, look at this, Hector. So a big tech is making new lows, not all-time lows, but new, fresh lows, retracement, whatever you want to call it. Disney is just quietly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days defending this level, 98.77. Call it 99 if we want. Coming back here. Consolidation bounce, sell through, consolidation bounce. Consolidation underneath, sell through. Yeah, this level. Oh, yeah. I like this, Hector. Nice eye, nice request. Are you a day trader or swing trader, Hector? Let me know in the chat or unmute your mic. I'll wait for you if not. Very, very nice bottom range here. Very defined range here, you guys. Buy all dips into here. Proven support with your risk level there. So buy and scale in anywhere down here. This is your risk. So yeah, swing trader, perfect, Hector. So what we have here, coming down a big support, like I said, stair step down. I had that question mark on the other ticker that was requested. We stair step down. We did not make a new low. We defended. We pushed up $2. We came back. We defended. We pushed up. Market is weak. Come back. Defended. 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 You think you want to be a buyer down here? Absolutely. You think you want to not buy puts down here? Damn right we don't want to buy puts down here. So very, very nice setup here, Hector. So what you want to do, if you can be patient, sometimes option liquidity is kind of bad on this name. Got to be careful. Open interest is people that held positions overnight. So 1,600 contracts, that could be, it's highly unlikely. It could be one person that holds 1,600 contracts, or it could be 1,600 people that have one contract each. We just don't know. But the open interest is the people that have contracts overnight. So they are swingers. Volume is the options traded that day. So when market opens tomorrow, focus on the volume and start seeing where there's a little bit of volume coming in, because that's going to tighten these spreads for you here. So if you're a swing trader, ideally, I want you to be in April 2nd and beyond. I don't know how big your portfolio is. But again, options volume, open interest, and then our delta, I need to change this so I'll go back and forth, a delta of 0.3 or higher. So basically, this is what you're looking at here. Hypothetically, if you're getting a next week contract, 100, 101, 102. You can get the 103, but we're starting to get a little bit too far out of the money, and any sells that possible support could hurt you a little bit. April 17th, I see your comment, 105. 0.22 delta, don't hate it. But again, I try and stick with the 0.3. It can very well move, brother. If we get any bullish move in the market off that level, that's still going to pay you. Open interest on that. 105, yeah, plenty. 7,500 contracts are as of now, or excuse me, as of Friday, start of day. 7,500 contracts were open, and the spread, they probably gapped this at close, but the spread's probably $10. So very, very tradable chart. Onto the chart. Any dips in here, man? Like I said, super nice setup. We haven't had one of these requests like this yet tonight, but a clear and defined bottom. You know where your stop is. Nibble in here, or if you want to try and bottom tick these bounces, basically 98.7, grab those calls, grab those calls. Okay, where do we cut? We're not holding till down here. That's reckless trading. If they prove they bounce 1 day, 2 days, 3 after hours, 4, 5, 6 times down here, and they fail that, why are we not cutting right away? So they fail and break basically under this weekly low, 98.4, it's a cut. So you're basically risking, your risk here is 30 cents. You know, you're buying at 98.7, we'll just call it for quick math. Your cut is 98.4. 30 cents on the stock is your risk. Look at your reward up here. Potential. Look at that range from last week. We talk about risk reward, you guys. Risk is tiny. Reward is potentially huge. So again, if they fail 98.4, you cut it because it broke a big support zone here. Proven on multiple time frames and just proven last week alone. But again, to the top side, all you're doing here, 15-minute chart, 30-minute chart, whatever you want to do, you buy that dip, you start looking left. See this cluster here, see where that wick stopped there. Super easy chart because this is consolidation mode. Consolidation, sell down, consolidation, break, bounce zone there. Easy target 1. Target 2, all these little retracement bounces up here. All these retracement bounces. Target 3, potentially, daily 9 moving average. Target 4, the biggest psych level of them all, 100. Definitely be trailing out there. Don't believe me, 100's a big deal. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Every single time so far over 100. They pushed over, but they're not holding it. So to me, 100 is all that matters in this low range here. So super nice. You got a potential $1.25 in your favor, and you're only risking 30 cents on the stock. Very, very nice setup, man. I'm actually gonna put a little star by that one. I'm gonna watch that one tomorrow for sure. Send me a DM if you get that. We'll talk more in DMs, brother. Nice request though. All right, getting caught up in the chat here. Did that. Alex in here, you are. BE. I think this thing's been running, or it was. Check on the daily. Ooh, nice consolidation here. Without even marking a line, I already see a back test level that's getting defended. Look at this right here. What a beauty. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Defended. Love it. Very, very nice range here. Ranges are nice only if you're buying calls at the bottom and selling at the top or getting puts at the top. Looking for calls. Cool. Let's see, looking for trend lines, no trend line, just basically a big consolidation. So I'm gonna go in the hourly, kind of see what this price action looks like for us here. Yeah, Alex, similar to Disney. I would definitely buy this dip here at 147.8-ish. When it fails hard. When it reclaims, they consolidate and they break over. And buys step in. They don't always get there, but you see, we start creeping close to that. They see the buys kick in. So definitely a spot to buy for sure for me. Similar to Disney, very, very range bound. I mean, it's clear as day. We have our tops, and they're all kind of in line. That's what a range is, guys. We have our bottoms. When it breaks that range, it gets ugly. When it breaks over, does it do that over here? Yeah, big explosive move up. Didn't hold for more than a day, but it broke. So for sure, buy your dip here, 147.8. I don't know options liquidity on this name for sure. But again, you're looking left. Little tricky price action because of these big bounce reactions here. So a little bit tricky, but first and foremost for me, if I catch a dip down into here, 150 is a very, very good target. It probably lines up with this bottom here. Let's check a 15-minute chart here. This thing really moves. Yeah, it's a little more clear. So we buy our dip here on some calls. Instant green, hypothetically. Friday's close, definitely target 1. Target 2, this cluster. This cluster here, target 3, whether it's the start of it, and then we push up to the top, that can be another target. And then shallow volume here, most likely from that big, fast kill candle. So we could move very fast through there. But wait, 2 moving averages are going to be in your way. Let's see, we had a down day. So when these moving averages calculate tomorrow, they're probably going to stair step like this. They're going to be a little bit lower. So they might be more around that 155. But you catch a bounce. I mean, if you catch even a $1 move on this, it's going to pay you huge. I'm looking at targets all the way up here, $6 away. I didn't realize how much this thing moves, but super nice. Definitely buy the dip here. I'm not bearish unless you're catching some sort of retracement, catching the bottom of this, or you're catching tops of the range here. Any questions on this name? Pretty nice range as well, and defined bottom that can, if they hold this, very, very nice. Again, I don't know options liquidity on this name, but very, very nice for sure. All right, we're getting caught up. What do we got here? Apple, and then virals next. Do you guys ever just type Apple like that when you're like shopping like for groceries or texting somebody. I can't type it the real way because of stock trading. It's crazy. I type in AAPL. I need some apples at the store. Daily 200. Um, Hesitant posting this, but if I can find it. Oh, it was 2 days ago. I'll post this. Hang with me here. It was Big Apple Flow. And it's expensive, but I think I know why it came in. Friday, post after close. I can't find it, but I know I posted it. It was, I believe, July or August something calls on Apple. I'm sorry that doesn't help you guys, but it doesn't mean it's going to pay. But it was a single buyer, meaning, well, we assume it's a single buyer, but they filled all the contracts within 5 minutes. And so to me, that is telling me that's a single company, a single buyer, whatever it is. I mean, it's a lot of money. It was $7 million on the buy. For all that rambling, here's why I think they're doing it. If this is too many lines, let me know and I'll just clear it. But Apple tagged the daily 200. Again, what did I tell us on from an investing standpoint? Breaks the daily 200, gets ugly. Reclaims the daily 200, very nice trend. Reclaims the daily 200, very nice trend. It closed and it bounced as of now at the daily 200. Also, this zone here. We look left. It was that top there, which is now forming support. So Apple, of all the tech names, I think it should be high on your guys' watch list. And thank you for this request on this one. Again, just because the flow hits or came in doesn't mean it has to work, but it was a big $7 million print. But the contracts they're in are like $1,200 a piece. Doesn't mean you have to get them. So what do? We day trade, we swing trade, and maybe follow the money, maybe follow the thesis of them. So 1 hour chart here. This is very, very simple, you guys, at least for me, from a technical standpoint. Any holds of 246.3 is also going to kind of stack up with the daily 200. Basically, if it's under and you start seeing wicks like this, that's a buy. That's a buy for me. Slap calls absolutely every single time. I do not like puts whatsoever at the daily 200. Not at all. Not even right here. Look at the big buyback. Oops. The big buyback. A late people chasing puts there. Smoked instantly. Instantly on that 1 hour candle there. If you caught the top here on Apple puts or somewhere up here to start that 1 hour candle, that's fine. But you late chase, got in down here, you're smoked. So the daily 200 is going to move very, very slow. It's somewhere stacked here around 246.7. Very, very buyable spot. Again, that's why I think that flow came in. Option liquidity is very good on this name. We can, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Yep. So you can do a 0 DTE or Wednesday or Friday in the contracts. Very, very tradable. Obviously with high IV right now. VIX is high. Everything's super expensive. So just be careful, but very, very tradable name. Hopefully answer your question. If not, let me know in the chat or on mute. But yeah, just clear as day. I'm not bearish on this name until we break the weekly low. I even have to go back and look at this 246.2 and see what price action looks like underneath there for me to even want to dive into puts. So still big buybacks right there. So really, if we bounce up to this 248.8 and they fail that again, yeah, we can get bearish day trade some puts there for sure. But anything, you guys, anything that's trading at the daily 200 calls all day long as it's over. But again, when that fails up here, mark this level as well, you guys. 248.82. Look at those rejections. I mean, how many times on a 15-minute chart, obviously in hindsight, how many times we have taken puts on a 15-minute? 7 different times entry there, shorting that. We get up here, do they break over? I don't know. But if they start wicking it down like that, puts every single time until they prove they break over. Don't chase calls saying, hey, this is the breakout, this is when it's coming. Play the breakout, retest, confirmation. Don't take calls at resistance. Very, very nice setup here, potentially on Apple. Definitely on watch for me. I am not in yet. I was crying here. I think we're just going to keep pushing. And now I'm glad I didn't dive into calls on Friday. So nice request, though. Viral, thanks for sticking around. OSCR, right? Oscar Health, yes. August calls. Let's take a look here. Don't know if I have any chart on this name. Got something here from somebody. Gonna extend that because that was apparently a big zone. Keeping it red because we now sold under that. Might have a mini trend line. We'll start there and I will zoom out and see what the heck we're doing here at 12 and a half. Start the weekly. What's that 12 and a half doing? Yep. The beauty of charting. Look at that. I know I got lines up here, but smacked the one line chart there. Stopped. Fully engulfed or fully pushed over that on that weekly. Attempted a back test. Buyer said, nope, you're not getting there. Bounced it. Bounce, bounce. Defended, sold through, bought it back 2 weeks later. These are weekly candles, a week of information. Defended, ticked it down, but ultimately defended. And now tiny trend line, big level here. 12 and a half, brother. Yeah, clear as day. If you can get into some calls tomorrow, absolutely. No guarantees it's going to bounce, but one of those places where I tell people I'm not buying puts here. We can go lower, sure, and I'll miss out on it, but yeah, definitely a spot here. That trend line holds. What did you say? 3 months out here, brother? August. Liquidity is a little thin. If you work that mid price, though, yeah, 13 call. I mean, because I want to be, if I'm in an August call, if I'm in an August swing, I want to be in the money as quick as I can for those Greeks to help me out. So we're 50 cents away. To me, if you can afford that 13 call, absolutely do it. As far as Greeks go, like I've been preaching, anything up to a 17 really is going to pay you. But for me, for an August call, I mean, I'm not bragging, but for me, 152 days to expiration, I can get in for about 220 bucks. That's pretty damn affordable for me. So I'm buying at the money. So I get that in the money shift right away. But yeah, clear as day. And then we start pushing up over that 13. Very, very obvious. We had that range like I spoke about in Disney and the other names. We have our bottoms. We push back up. Now this is our top. This is our resistance on the way up until we break over. Because that sell there, there's potentially unfilled orders at that level sitting there. So when we push back up and it's not going higher, that's all those sell orders, or excuse me, those orders buying and not lifting higher, absorbing that, and they kick it back down. You got to have a big volume push to reclaim that zone there first touch. So very, very tricky spot on the way up, but we're talking about a 70-cent move in your direction, 70% of your delta. That's going to pay you very nice. Right. Welcome back to Coin, Alex. If you're still in here, I want to get to everybody. Errol, SoFi. Nope, not requested yet. What you think on this one, Errol? I think you're my swing share person, right? If you want to do options on it, that's all right too. Cool, options or shares. Both pretty affordable. This must have been from my old charting here. We got two different line styles. Apologies on that. But again, similar to Disney, tech is making recent new lows, and SoFi's over here defending this level 3 days in a row last week. So you think that's something to watch? Absolutely. Absolutely. 12.7. Here I'm on the daily. Last check. Last look at that daily there. Clears day trend line on the daily. Can't ignore that, which is basically just the moving averages stacked overhead. Tiny trend line. Last 3 days, we'll roll with that. Intraday look here. Shares, yeah. So let me back up here. Shares. I always, when I tell people to buy shares, I go, okay, if I'm going to buy here, where's my next big support? What is my risk down? So I kind of just cheat. I just draw like a horizontal line. I kind of just see for buying here, how much am I risking? Total loss on shares, I don't like taking more than 20% loss. So I'm just looking here. So depending on how much patience you have, Errol, this is a decent setup here. So this kind of to me, this would be a buy zone one. Scaling in for sure on shares because you're only risking. I don't know what that said, but you're basically $2 against you on these shares here. But nibble here at that like 15 and a half, and then down here at this 14. 14 being the biggest for me, I believe. Yeah, on the weekly, that 14 is massive. One could argue this level here that we're at is very, very big too. So definitely shares and options. Definitely, I'm going to nibble here at basically 16.7 for sure. Yeah, definitely nibbling on some shares for sure. Because like I said, max risk is 16% drawdown here. Like I said, 20% is kind of my cutoff. I'm like, okay, if I'm losing more than 20% on shares, even if it's a company I believe in, I just don't want that money tied up and I cut it and I just move on. But you can easily scale in here and a little bit this 15 and a half. But options, for sure, again, similar to Disney guys, another range name I cannot remember. Maybe it was Boeing. But clear and defined last week, a bottom that's being defended. This is a very, very affordable name if you guys have a smaller portfolio. But again, 17 call. Next week expiration, so not this coming, but the following week. At the money call, $75. 19 days to expiration, about $100. Very, very affordable. If you guys got a large portfolio, you can roll out to April, May. May OPEX, less than $200. And you have 55 days. I'm not going to say 55 days to be right because you don't just hold for a deep loss. But if you sit on a little bit of consolidation here, you're not sitting on zero DT. You can sit in some May contracts and you get that pop, you get that move. When people are chasing up here, you're sitting pretty because you bought down here. So very, very nice setup. If they start breaking the upside, you're basically looking at all these tops here. Tops come down, tops coming down, tops coming down, tops. Every time we push up to one of these, you're selling. We push up to one of these, you're trimming. We push up to the daily 9, you're trimming. Push up to one of these tops, you're trimming. That's all it is on the way up. You're just looking left. Very, very nice stair step pattern down. It's the easiest spot for targets, profit targets. That is. I did that on Lyft a week or two ago. Sold down, consolidation, push back up, easy targets. Very, very easy targets here. What do you mean the options to fund? What do you mean, like selling calls? Not sure what you mean. Reward it if you can. Using options to fund the share purchase. I mean, if you buy a 17 call, it goes deep in the money, you want to exercise that. If that's what you mean, yeah, you can absolutely. And those shares are valued at 17. You can absolutely do that as well. Most retail traders do not. Yeah, definitely possible for sure. So you're basically buying 100 shares at $17. All right. Are we all caught up? I think we are. Oh, buy option contracts and then sell it to buy the shares. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about option calls here, if I'm understanding what you're saying, yeah, definitely, you can definitely scale and take some of those profits. Or what you can do again, don't get too over leveraged, but nibble on some shares here. And if we start selling, trade puts, and you're like, hey, I made $60 on some puts day trade. And we sold more and I made $75. And then I made another 25. And I got another $160 on puts. And my shares are red. We're coming down into here. Put that $160 in and buy some more shares down here. Absolutely, you can finance that. That's what you're talking about. You can definitely finance that for sure to the downside. That support doesn't hold, don't just watch stuff go red, trade against it or trade along with it. That is, that's a beauty of being day traders. Long-term investors, when they go down, unless they're hedged, they just lose money. We can make money to the downside. Yep, good question. All right, pretty much time here, guys. I'm not in a hurry to leave. I'll peek at a couple more charts, but if you guys want to head out, you definitely can. Let's take a look at QQQ, kind of see where we're at. No one requested tonight, but if you guys do got to leave, appreciate y'all sticking around. Where are we trading at here intraday? Damn, 577.7. QQQ on the daily. $577.7. Man, I really hope, I wish that gap up on Friday held. A nice retracement. That's probably because I'm in some TQQQ swings that are going to be red, but that's all right. I got some time on them. 577. Is that level meaning thing to us? It's not a lot here to go off of, guys. From last July, this is basically our price action from July. We're trading right at here in the after session, so just look and build the game plan. I do see this wick here, 577 flat, basically. That makes sense. It's kind of tagging, didn't quite get there. It's tagging that zone there. So, man, tricky spot, tricky stuff tomorrow for sure. Again, I'm just very cautious of diving into puts when we just get so overextended. But at the same time, it could be one of those days where I'm just a scaredy cat taking puts, and it's like it could be a very well down day, and I'm just sitting on the sideline because I'm scared of a bounce. That's all right. I can live with that. Basically, my plan tomorrow on Qs, a lot's going to change before the morning, so I'm not going to get too crazy with it. But grabbing those old wicks there from that 577, if that can hold, we can try the bounce. Again, I'm not just going to say, hey, buy the bounce in a random spot. We need to make sure it makes sense. Or Friday's low. So kind of we do one of these things in here. We pop over Friday's low and they back test it for a double bottom. That's a good entry. But if we kind of open in here and we reject Friday's low, we're going to come into wherever this pre-market action lands. It could come down here and push up. And then when you trim on puts, you just look at that pre-market. If there's any consolidation on pre-market for a leg down, when you get into puts, you want to look left and see, is there any consolidation for a target there? And then pre-market low of the day, wherever that is, I'm just making this up. Definitely want to trim there for sure. But pretty ugly if they don't reclaim at least Friday's low on QQQ. Same thing for SPY. I'll quickly look at that. But cautiously, I'm using air quotes, a hold of 577 up to 577.7. We push, and best case scenario, they reclaim Friday's low quickly, and we push up. Do we get up here? I don't know. I doubt it. Do we get up here? I don't know. Where are we at? Where's it going to stop? I don't know, but that's what I'll be playing there, back into that 580.7 big zone. One more quick look at SPY, see what we're doing here. So SPY as of now is a little more cut and dry. You're basically same thesis, excuse me. Friday's low, if they hold that pre-market, look for a sell attempt below. And if that gets reclaimed and they hammer a nice candle on the 15-minute with a long wick to the downside, That's Friday's low being defended. That's a good entry for some calls there potentially. It does not have to work. We can absolutely go lower. But that's what I'd be looking at for that. So SPY is a little bit easier right now as of now, but I have a feeling a lot's going to change in the next 12 hours. So we shall see. But with that, guys, I'm in the chat. I appreciate y'all sticking around. DMs are always open, like I say. Send me a question if you have questions on something. But with that, you guys, I'm in the chat. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.